So do you have any thoughts about our panhandling problem? We'll talk that first, and we'll go to an incident that happened today.
Sure, and you have quite a few thoughts on a panhandling situation. It's not only here in New Bedford, but everywhere. You go everywhere now, it just seems like every town and city has folks out there panhandling. So here's my thoughts. I think because we're such a charitable city with huge hearts, we need to start giving money to organized charitable organizations, legitimate ones. Here's the dilemma. When you're giving money to these folks, I can tell you a very strong likelihood that it's being used to support their addiction, either a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction. To prove the point, many people tell me they've offered them food and they don't want food, they don't want a sandwich. And there's plenty of places in the city that feed a lot of our homeless. So, you got Mercy Meals, you got the Pilgrim Church, you got United Way, Salvation Army. There's a lot of churches that do it as well, that you can funnel your money that way. Please, I really ask you to give your money to a legitimate organization. Giving it to these folks, you're not helping them. You're enabling their addiction for the most part. If we could follow them, you'd follow them to a liquor store downtown. They're probably going to go to the Biltmore liquor store. They're going to get some nips. And if they're not going there, they're probably going to be going or meeting someone that's going to support them with their drugs. So please, again, I know you're charitable people and you got big hearts, especially we get a lot of folks coming from outside the city, coming westbound from Marion, Mattapoisett. Please give it to a legitimate organization. We're not helping these folks by giving them money to feed their addiction.
Yeah, I wrote an article called "Don't Blame the Panhandlers, Blame the People That Give to Them," and I estimate just, finger in the air for the wind is we've tripled our panhandler numbers in the last 3 years because of the giving, and people tell everyone around the state, hey, the gravy train's here in New Bedford, come over, and now you got them on every intersection of every major part of the city. If you keep giving, you're going to keep bringing the numbers up, I think.
Absolutely. And the other thing, there's two other points I'd like to make, Mike, if I could. One, it's not safe because a lot of these folks are stepping into the street, and some people panic when they see them. They're like they may be hitting the accelerator, they're going to hit their brakes, or they're going to get hit. It's just not a safe place for them to be in the middle of the median and walking into the street, for them and for the motorists. So that's one. More recently, I had this conversation with someone that I respect that works closely with these demographics of individuals, and I said, why? Do you think they're all homeless? He said, no. So a lot of people, this is their job. He knew someone in Boston that's what they would do. They'd park a very expensive car around the corner. They go do their 6 or 8 hours, get a couple $100 a day, tax-free, and then go home. Some of these people, it's their job, and others, like I said, are just feeding their addiction. It may make you feel good that you're doing the right thing, but if you really want to feel good and do something good with your money, give to a legitimate organization.
You have Veteran Transition House in New Bedford. You have Mercy Meals and More. You have all these places that are. There's a lot of pantries in the city people don't even know about, and that's where they're going to get their food. They're not usually getting money on the corner and then going to buy food. There's plenty of food in the city at these. The old New Bedford Hotel. You can go there. People are fed, so you don't have a problem being fed in this city. There's a lot of good, caring people in the city. So the idea is, and someone asked here a question. About in Providence, they're doing those meters, and we've talked about that before, where they, instead of giving to a panhandler, just go to these meters and give, and they just get distributed out to the local, food stuff. Any thoughts on the meters?
Yeah, we had talked about it. It doesn't. I don't know really enough about the details of it and how it works and how that money is managed. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It could be a very good idea. But right now, we have dozens of organizations that are doing a lot of good work. You mentioned some of these pantries. You got St. Lawrence that does it as well. They have a pantry there that you can go give to. And there's, our ladies, Sisters of Mercy that give. You got the shelter in the South End. You got House of Hope. You got St. Anthony's, I believe, has a pantry too. So there's so many places that you can give to help these folks out. And I really think it's just people have such big hearts here, and it makes them feel good to give. And I understand that. I'm saying just let's give to where you're going to not only feel good, but you're going to get a big return on that money that's going to get to the right people for the right reasons.
Yeah, and it was a press release sent out by the police department. We just posted it on New Bedford Guide's Facebook. It's the post before this live video. So you had a 65-year-old man who traditionally gives to the panhandlers. He's in the Burger King on Cove Road. A known panhandler, a known beggar comes in, asks for money. He opens up his wallet, and she goes for a grab. And he trips her, she falls, and he causes these incidents, like this. And he's a good, caring person. He's trying to take care of someone, but it's not always the best idea, especially come in while you're eating in restaurants and stuff.
Absolutely, even just walking around. This happened to me downtown in Bedford just last week. I went to have lunch with my daughter on Purchase Street, having some sushi. And we're walking back, and she was walking me back to my car, and someone asked her for some money. And before I could get it, she reached, pulled out a wallet, started giving some changes. I said, don't ever do that. She says, why, Dad? I said, because they're going to grab your wallet and they're going to run. You always run that potential when you reach into your pocket and you expose, one, how much cash you have, and two, you expose it so it's very vulnerable and easy to grab, like this gentleman just happened at McDonald's. Never a good idea for you to reach into your wallet or into your pocket to pull out money to give anywhere. Not just New Bedford. If you were in New York City, you wouldn't do it. If you were in Boston, you wouldn't do it, or some other large city, Chicago or LA. So don't do it at home. It's just a bad practice no matter where you're at.
So I wrote an article, it was about a month ago. Miami actually figured out how to pass an ordinance and keep people away. Panhandlers, it's illegal to be a panhandler in most of Miami. What's the rules for the police officers? What can you do and what can't you do? I mean, I know that the mayor and others have talked about, cities are getting sued if they pass an ordinance against, but Miami's figured it out. So I don't know what the rules are.
Well, probably the difference is from Florida to Massachusetts, and how active the ACLU is down in Florida. But in Massachusetts, Worcester just took a little over $1 million lawsuit that they lost with their ordinance. The point is, it's a constitutional issue that spans across the country. So I'm not sure they're getting away with that in Florida, but panhandlers have a right as a freedom of speech to ask for money, and we're not trying to impinge on those rights. So if you want to ask for money, we're saying go right ahead. What we're trying to say here in New Bedford is don't do it on the streets where cars pass, because it's just not safe. So the median on the Octopus coming from Fairhaven or 140, that's just not a safe place. On Cogsall Street, where Market Basket, that's just not a safe place to be walking into the street and ask for money. You want to ask for money, you can do it on a sidewalk, and that is your constitutional right, and we do not want to infringe on those rights. But it is also the citizen's right to not give the money. And that's what we're saying, if you're giving your money, you're not getting your best return on it.